I want to welcome you to tonight's edition of Yes, You with Friends. And there will be no preliminaries tonight. We're going to jump right in because we're trying to hold on to Royal Confessions before she disappears into the thin air. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I welcome you to tonight's Yes, You edition of Yes, You with Friends. I am joined tonight by two of my friends. I got two that are trying to recuperate and get themselves together. So John CPW nor Jabez will be with us on tonight as they rest up and get themselves together. But I've got my friends, Tyrone, and I hope I've got Rhonda for more than 5 seconds. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. And how are you all doing?
I guess I would go first before I jump off.
Right, I'll let you go first.
Right. I'm doing good. Look, this computer, this streamline just won't let me be great.
It won't let you be great.
Won't let me be great.
It
But
will.
I'm doing well. My schedule is always busy. If anybody that know me know that I stay busy 24/7. But it's been good. It's just like good trouble.
Come on.
So I'm excited about things that are taking place. We had a great event yesterday, park play for the kids, had a great turnout. Got a chance to talk and do a lot of things with the law enforcement. I went to an event where a friend of mine's mother turned 99 years old.
I saw that.
Yeah, didn't she look gorgeous?
Oh my goodness, yes.
So I have been extremely busy. Then I get home today and I had shoppers. So hey, I made money today.
Come through. You better make some money.
Good. So, hey, I am working my jelly.
Work it. Work it. Work your jelly. I love it. I love it. Now tell me more. Good evening, Stacy 546, SK 8843, MCP 812. We see you beautiful people out there. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. We're so glad to have you with us. And yes, so now your 99-year-old friend, I thought that was just marvelous. Tell me more about her. And she looked like she's just stunning and up and about, and good grief.
And still wearing heels.
Listen,
Oh,
you better.
wow.
Yeah, not kittens, heels. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, gets around and tall. I mean, you would not believe that she's actually 99 years old.
Man.
Mhm.
You know, I saw a picture and it was a meme. My cousin Jarrell, who is a bodybuilder, had it up. And it showed a 75-year-old bodybuilder who was a woman, and she looked absolutely stunning and looked like she may have been in her 50s. Anyway, the caption was, it had her at 75 still working out. Then it had this older, decrepit looking lady that looks probably like we most often think of a 75-year-old looking like, but it showed the difference between the two, one working out and the other that was just there. And it was like, you choose. And I was like, wow. And I do think there's something to be said for people that just keep moving. You know, they just keep moving. And as I have an aunt, my namesake, who turned 95 this year, and then Lou gets around better than most. I mean, she really does. She gets around better than most people my age, and she had a little scare that we had at the church. And when the paramedics, we called the paramedics, and I think she really got overheated. It was extremely hot in the church. And of course, she's going to praise the Lord whether it's heat or not. But at 95, you can't do all of that like you could when you were 55. So at the end of the day, when the paramedics got there and he asked her, and how old are you, ma'am? And she said 95. And he looked at us like she was not cognizant of her age. And we said, no, she's 95. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. No, sir. She's 95. And it was just the difference between night and day. And your 99-year-old friend looked the same to me. I was like, so, there's something to be said for moving. Listen, like they said, listen, strut those heels. She's not in kitties. She's not in kittens, baby. She's in full-blown heels.
Look, and she'll tell you I'm not dead. And honey, she'll tell you when a man looks good.
Come on.
And everything.
And everything.
Everything.
The blank on everything.
Right.
Nibbles and bits. Nibbles and bits. Where's
Right, right.
Good evening, Fairly All Day. Good evening, Shelly Thunder. I see you out there, everybody. We appreciate you for being here. She looked absolutely marvelous, and so I'm assuming she's an on the go type person.
She is. Because
Yeah.
her oldest child is 72.
Ooh.
Mhm. And you know her, you just probably not remember her, but when I talk to you about it, you were like, okay, I know her.
Okay.
Mhm.
I love it. And I told my auntie, I want to look like you when I'm 95. I want to look like
Mhm.
you when I'm 199 and carrying on and still wearing pumps. I love it.
And you saw my other picture. I didn't post it, but they tagged me in Ain't Sweetie.
No, I didn't see it.
She's there.
She's there.
Yes.
Get
And
out
so
of God.
they tagged me in the picture with her this weekend.
Nice.
She's
Nice.
90 something.
Come on, Aunt Sweet.
Oh,
And that's the
wow.
thing. Tyrone and listeners, let me tell you how small the world is. I knew Rhonda's aunt by other means from when I was pastoring in Kansas City. And I had a choir that sang, and every year Rhonda's aunt would invite our singing group to come and sing at an event that she had every single year. And then lo and behold, down the road, come to find out, Aunt Sweetie was Rhonda's real Aunt Sweetie. And I said, man, if that's not a small world, I just don't know. It's just that was just mind blowing to me. And it was her aunt. So I was like, oh my God, the world just
Mhm.
the longer you live, it just gets smaller and smaller. I'm telling it really does. So you
Mhm.
give Aunt Sweetie my love while she's down there, and God bless her. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
One reason there's the Bishop of Twitch, and he's here, y'all. He's here. And if you're not following One Reason, I want you all to follow him. He will bless your whole life. That's my brother, my friend. I love you, sir. And good evening. And to everybody that's here, we're so glad to see you. Now, Tyrone, what's going on in your world, baby?
Not a lot. Just like Rhonda. Busy, but good busy. It's always good to stay active. I'm a true believer in that. When we
Yes.
stop becoming active, that's when we go down a little bit. But I'm just working a lot. I'm trying to think. No travel this weekend, which was good. Tim and I, we did a photo shoot yesterday because we're gearing up for our 10-year anniversary.
10 years.
So
Oh,
10 years.
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So those photos will be coming out pretty soon once we get that all together. But really just it's been a relaxing weekend, like it's a busy week, but a good busy. Um, Nothing to complain about, and just happy to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. That is phenomenal. And that seems like yesterday, 10 years. I know Rebel's like 10. That's unbelievable. That
Next Saturday will be 10 years.
unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Well, congratulations to you guys. You guys are just the most beautiful, beautiful couple. I love you both.
Thank
And you
you.
talk about phenomenal in every way. I tell you what, you are the epitome, both of you, of phenomenal, and so much love. And may you have many, many more decades together.
Thank you.
Yes. DJ Neat 10 is in the room. Come on in here. So good to see you on tonight. A streamer is here, y'all. Please follow, and it'll bless your whole entire life. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Yes, Fairly All Day, 10 years. And it seems like you blink an eye and a whole decade has come and gone. And I tell you what, they have to be one of the most beautiful couples I've ever met, and a true epitome of love. And they just bless me just being around y'all. I tell you, I'm serious about that. Hey, BTD mom is in the room. Come on in here. Good evening to you. Teresa said congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And it's good. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I was trying to hit Teresa. They're moving so fast. Thank you, Teresa Jones. That's my 411 connect.
Rebel. Sit down, Rebel.
Will there be strong drink? Now, we talking to Tyrone. It's going to be some strong drink now. At the end of the day, have we ever seen him without strong drink? Tall Bumps, come on. I appreciate you all for the congratulatory remarks here. And that is a tremendous feat. That is so. Listen, Rebel's down there laughing. She's like, nope. DJ Neek, thank you for 10 months in a row, sis. I appreciate you so very much. And thank you. Yes, we are happy for you, Tyrone. We are happy for you.
Thank you.
And you gotta now can we show the pictures online when you get them?
Yeah.
I want everybody to see you guys and see I tell you what, just beautiful couple. I love y'all. Now, today, I'm not going to keep you all a long time. As I said, our other two are getting some self care and some rest in, Jabez and Jonna CPW. I think Jonna CPW is trying to recover from her vacation.
That's understandable.
I can imagine.
Right.
You know how that is. She's trying to recover from her vacation. I've been very intentional, and that is something that I'm going to kind of continue along that line tonight. And I don't know where you guys are in. Now, before I go there, this meme is up and floating around, and I want to get some feedback from the people and yourselves as to they utilized a quote that Malcolm X made with regard to, in our terms, we would say all skin folk ain't kin folk. But this meme is circulating. And before we get into our topic, I'd like to get some comment from you two as to your sentiments about this picture right here. And then I'm trying to blow it up for you so you can see it real well. Okay, now tell me, what do you think about this? This is the quote that Malcolm X made several years ago, and somebody chose to put these four individuals. Truck driver. Yes, we did say strong drink, so we know you got some crown somewhere nearby. There's some crown somewhere near you, sir. Just grab you a cup. Sometimes a fruit falls from a tree and rolls so far away from its roots that it no longer is of the tree. The hard fall and long journey bruises the fruit so much that it totally changes it. It's the same way for some of our people. This is why some can't be awakened regardless of how much truth you present to them. This journey has totally brainwashed them to agree that they're no longer of the original tree. Now, tell me, what do y'all think about that? What do you, Tyrone? You're looking confused, sir. You're looking confused.
Oh, I'm not confused.
Mel comes in asking for the poll. She comes in asking for the poll. Good evening, Mel. And no, we don't have the poll up tonight. We're just chit-chatting on this evening. What are your sentiments? Now, I don't know if you all, this is and I'm gonna let you talk, but there is a recent story that's come out where, because there was so much uproar about the school where Clarence Thomas was teaching, they let him go. So he's no longer teaching there. And here I got SK talking about vintage sugar here.
Here they go.
Here they go with the roll call. And where's Tall Pumps? Where is Tall Pumps? Because I know they yes.
Oh, Tyrone, you haven't heard. They all have a name, Tyrone.
They have names, baby. They have names. So Eileen Sideways reporting for duty. I might as well just go ahead and wait, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. You know how we
there do. She is. There she is.
Tall Pumps. Yes, we said poll. Yes, we did say poll. So there you have it. And for all of you that just can't live without it, I tell you what, you're addicted to the poll. Hey, come on with the poll call. Since y'all up in here, go ahead and go on with it. I'm gonna give you just a hot second while my friends are thinking about. And yes, Tyrone, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but that is Royal Confessions in that pink top on the poll. So there you go for all of my poll callers. Y'all know y'all just can't go out that pole. Y'all y'all so addicted to the pole, Jesus. Listen, Tall Pumps is always on time. One reason. Always on time. Shelly Thunder, I see your eyes. Y'all done pop Shelly Thunder's eyeballs out. She's like, what? Y'all just staying young. I got you. That's how you get to be 99 and still wearing pumps.
Okay.
That's how you do that. Get up on the pole. Get up on the pole.
Because she said she didn't twerk, but she did the jigabug. That's what she said at her party. She did the jigabug, not the twerk.
Jigabug. Yeah. I'm not mad at her. Come on with the jigabug. And there we got Thunderclaps is coming in. Thunderclaps says she's taking a rest. She's tired of clapping. She's tired of clapping. Oh my God. She was over there. Author Javanda's listening to that sex station story that Rebel put out. She's tired.
Ooh, girl, don't say that. I got the fan.
Wait a minute, Tyrone. She said her kitten is still purring.
Okay.
That's what Raw Confessions had true confession. She said her kitten was still purring, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Right. Now, getting back to this here story. I'm teaching y'all to keep moving. I'm trying to teach y'all to keep moving because listen, we not going out old, decrepit, and broken up. We gonna keep this thing fresh and vital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keep it limber, and lickable. All of that. We gonna
what?
Keep
Wait a minute.
What?
Find another word for ale, and lickable just came out.
Wait a minute.
Come on in the room like a lollipop. Come on in the room, Daniel Dean. We're so glad to have you. Robin,
how many licks does it take to get to the center?
Okay.
Lollipop, life save. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Cheering. Back. Tell me about how you feel about the sentiment that Malcolm X expressed, and then with these individuals, and again, Clarence Thomas did lose his teaching job, and I'm not mad about it. But Clarence Thomas did lose his teaching job because the students protested and said, we don't want him. And so at the end of the day, come on, y'all. I love lickable. Y'all, you know what? Y'all really going forth over here in this chat. Now, BTD mom done found some lollipops. I just want to get an understanding what's going on.
Oh, one reason.
Oh, I'm so mad that won't come up on the screen. Oh my God, y'all too much for me. DJ Nick said, I'm dead. So here we go, y'all. Now, back to this story. Mel always comes in after she's had several glasses of wine this morning while we were having coffee. And so she comes in inebriated and done brought the pole. Now let's get the pole spirit cast out. I cast out and bind this pole spirit so we can do the rest of this stream on tonight. Didn't Clarence, you know what? You know, I should have read that before I put it up, Tall Pumps. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna see how far y'all gonna go before we get back. This train is derailed.
One reason you just
Jesus, Lord Jesus, oh Lord Jesus. All right, now back to listen. Both of them.
Not both of them.
Okay. All right. Now, sometimes, and I'm almost scared to say fruit because I don't know what's going to come out. Sometimes a fruit falls so far from a tree. What do you feel about that statement and at large? And then you sitting back down. I don't know if you're going to sit down or not, Tall Pumps, because you know you're not going to act right. I just know that in other news, there we go, Shelly Thunder. In other news, because listen, these babies are going forward. How do you feel about this statement? And you know, this stream is for everybody, but you know how I'm a Black woman. I am a preacher woman, so I cover so many areas. I check off the boxes for so many of the oppressed and marginalized, and I'm happy to do so. When I see this kind of statement, and I'm always trying to what I want to say, enliven and invigorate the Black community, especially everybody, but the Black community especially, to rise up. What do you think about this fruit statement that Malcolm X says, and then relate that to these individuals, if you can, if you have any knowledge of them? I'll start with you, Royal Confessions.
Wow. I believe some of it to an extent, because we're talking about wannabes.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they do fall and they go way out like there's no help from them. And they do not learn anything from O.J. Simpson.
Mm.
Okay, you know, O.J. Simpson did all that, but then he had to turn around and try to come back for the Black people to reach him, to help him, because, you know, I shouldn't say, well, the people will turn on you. When they get all that they want from you, they will turn on. They will throw you under the bus. You will be the one to be thrown up under the bus. But at the same time, I'm thinking about these people when they hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And rock bottom is different for everybody, because a member of my family was so low and drugged out and just lay on the streets. And I kept saying, okay, Lord, what's rock bottom? Can they go lower than that? But there is always a lower than that. And so when these people hit rock bottom, then that's when they'll try to come back around. And then it reminds me, hopefully, like the prodigal son, when he was out there doing all that, nobody touched him, nobody greased him down like he was a chicken. He came to himself
Mm-hmm.
and realized, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
My father's servants do better. So that's why I'm hoping for these type of people that are wannabes, because they want to be, and they know they're being used.
Mm-hmm.
They know that. And some of them don't even know how to turn around and come back. But they will, because they're going to turn on them, and they're going to be useless. When they become useless to them, then they'll throw them away. They'll cast them away.
Okay. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Thank you. Tyrone, what's your sentiment? And you may have a totally different perspective. Feel free to share it.
Well, I like Ron said, I agree with parts of it. I feel, especially in like these people that they're using as an example, it's hard to say that they've gone so far from the root, because I feel like their opinions are based off their experience, which most of ours are.
Mm-hmm.
And because there are people who are African American that possibly have a different opinion on some things, we shouldn't say that they're just, removed from the root, or they no longer, understand the journey. It's just, they believe something different than what the masses do. Their opinions on things are totally different than the masses. But I mean, I wouldn't want to say that they're, they've forgotten the journey, or they've fallen from the tree and they're just so far gone. I don't know their journeys. Maybe it's just different than what the masses is for us.
Well, let's look at what SK8843 said, and I respect what you're saying as well, Tyrone. The fruit is identified by what it does, not how it appears. Which then I think that, to me, and I'm going to paraphrase and use the old saying, all skin folk ain't kin folk. It would be speaking to the how it appears, because they are Black, but they are not talking, acting, or propagating a positive Black agenda. So from that perspective, how do you view it from that perspective? And as far as the fruit is no longer of the original tree.
I mean, for me, it's still a thing of like, and that's like your statement. They're not representing a positive Black agenda, but that could be. I mean, that could be said about a lot of things. And for me, it's all on one's experience. So I'm not one to be able to say that they're not representing a positive Black agenda. To me, no. But to someone else, they can be. And I don't feel I'm in a place to be able to say that, these people, because there's a group of people that they do represent a positive Black agenda to. And there are Black people. And I'm not in a place to tell them they're wrong because of what they believe.
Ooh.
To me.
Rhonda asked who, and then one reason said you're trying to be nice about it, but if it's so different, then it's far removed. No.
I mean, like I said, for me, there's a lot of things that people can point out and say is wrong. That for me personally, I can say is right. So I'm not in a place to say that because you do something different than what I think you should be doing, you're wrong. That's just me.
Okay.
People can say my lifestyle is wrong. To me, it's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, you said there was a group that they're leading in the right way, for lack of a better word, that are Black, and that's why I said who.
oh, I mean, with anything, I mean, they're preaching to a base, just like with Trump. We said all day Trump was wrong, but there's a group of Black people that thought he was right. I'm not in a position to tell them they're wrong because I disagree with them. That's my point. There's a base that these Black people talk to or resonate with that are Black, that feel that what they're saying and what they're doing is right. I don't agree with it, but I'm not in a position to tell you you're wrong. My opinion. I think when we get into the positions of telling people they're wrong is when we lose it. And again, from my experience, there's things I do that people would say is wrong. I think is right. And you don't have a right to tell me I'm wrong.
But I think a little bit different to me, Tyrone, and I respect your position, is that they're actually pushing lies and they're actually pushing misinformation and derogatory concepts, ideas, and agendas against Black people. And that's not your relationship is wrong to some, but your relationship doesn't hurt anybody else because it has nothing to do with
Right.
anybody else.
Personal,
It's
right.
somebody else's business. These individuals are literally out here saying, doing, and acting things that are detrimental to the Black community directly, and it's impacting us. And the misinformation. I mean, Herschel Walker. I'm almost scared every time I see something with him and he opens his mouth. The stuff that falls out is just so ridiculously stupid. And he'll back up and support and say he's substantiating his position, which is all kinds of mis and disinformation that is so destructive and harmful to Black people. That's the difference. What you choose in your personal life doesn't impact anybody. It's nobody's business. But at the end of the day, what they're doing is making their comments and their agenda our business because it has a direct impact on Black people and people of color. I see that as a difference for me. Fairly All Day said, I think they exhibit a form of self-hate. I would agree with you. They refuse to accept their history of what we as a race of people, Black people, the Black culture, have experienced. When you listen to how they present their agenda, it is far from the accuracy of what they say. And I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you 100%. Good evening. I see you coming in, Joanna G. Thank you so much for joining us. One reason said, but it's not for the masses of Black folk to better the whole, and they are influencing policy. And that's huge. When you're talking about being in a position where you can influence policy, again, that's not the same as somebody that may not agree to your lifestyle, which again is personal to you and your partner. It has nothing to do with anybody else. And SK said they are supporting policies that are manifestly harmful to Black people, and we're being impacted by it. And I agree. And so not that I'm in an argument with you, but I'd like to hear. I hear you talk Fairly All Day. He is so ridiculous. And what's scary about it, he believes his lies. He does. The lies that he spits, he believes them. And unfortunately, that makes him even more dangerous. As Main Man said, Herschel is way out of touch. That man is in la la.
No, he's mental.
I think he's got a mental problem.
He does. He's mental. And the others are totally brainwashed. Totally.
So how do you respond to that? And does that bring any difference to you? I hear you saying it's no different than my lifestyle and people that would want to oppose it. I mean, they're having some direct impact on people's lives potentially. Does that still seem like it's the same? It's not apples and oranges for you on that, Tyrone?
It is. My thing is just the statement. I don't feel I'm in a position to say they've fallen that far from the tree. Now, what they represent, what they put out there, the impact they're making, these people are all four of them, and there's many more of them that are totally out of touch. I'm just saying from the statement, I don't have a position on putting an answer on that.
Okay. Daniel Dean said the white man found some black folk and paid them to say these things, and they fell for the okie doke. When you start talking about Candace Owens, somebody's paying her bills. I just have to believe somebody's paying her bills. Because
I mean, I've listened to an interview of hers, and I think a lot of hers come from some experiences that she's had. So, like I said, even though she says some crazy things, there's sometimes she'll make a statement and it will actually make you think like, that is something to think about. She's one of the four that I've said she can be reckless. She's a little disconnected at times, but I feel there's some experience behind some of the things that she's saying. Like her of the four that's up here, she's probably the only one I could possibly tolerate.
I mean, I hear you, but listen, to me, she's one of the most egregious.
I mean, okay.
And I hear you. So we're gonna agree to disagree on that one, because listen, the stuff that comes out of her mouth, and I think the reason why she's most egregious because she has enough sense to know how to package it. She's smart. The other ones are just dumb. To me, she has enough intelligence and intellect to polish hers up and package it, but at the end of the day, it's still poop. And the others, they just don't even have any means by which to figure out how to say it even remotely to where it's not so foul and so funky. But she packaged it. And to me, when folks can fix something up and sell you some poop and be like, here, I got some fudge for you, it's delicious, and you just chewing it up and eating it, that's to me even more frightening than the one that just come with plain old stinky, smelly poop, in my opinion. Fairly All Day said policy, policy, policy. They are potentially in a position to influence world policy for millions, and their thoughts are totally delusional. Fairly All Day, totally delusional.
Right. And they were placed there by the white men. Yeah, you talking about their experience. Their experiences because they have been paid, or they've been elevated, they've been promoted, they've been done all that throughout their years to get them where they are. But if you let them do one thing that is against what they were paid to do, they're under the bus. Mm-hmm. If they do one decision that doesn't go along with everything that they've been talking about, they're under the bus. They will cast them away. One thing, somebody's paying her bills, let her say one thing that's wrong against that party or group they're running with, they're gone. They're puppets.
Mm-hmm. Puppets. Nothing but puppets. Nothing but puppets. And I think some of them are, even with her, I think she's a paid puppet. I think she's a paid puppet.
And they don't care that they're making themselves look foolish. They just wanted them to get out there and entice the other Black people.
The last thing you said, Tyrone, I didn't hear it clearly. You said something. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, she's paid pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's paying that bill. Yeah. Stacy said, I think they are doing it because they have most likely been told they will be given some kind of fill in the blank if they can try to get more of the Black community to think this way. And it's been proven to be the worst for the Black community. And I agree with you all day long. I agree with you all day long. Because if you have that face of the person that looks like you, that's out here talking, and yes, one reason, she's highly intelligent. So she has the ability to speak to those that may be just slightly less intelligent than she is and make it make sense. But it doesn't make sense. If you listen and unwrap what she's saying, it doesn't make sense. And even as Fairly All Day said, she's delusional. The stuff that she says is delusional. And that's it, Michelle. Her intelligence is what makes her dangerous, because she has the ability, especially for those that may not be at a sharp level, to see through her stuff and see, decipher and discern what she's really saying. it makes sense to them, and there you have it. There, and she looks like me. She's talking. It makes sense. Boom, here we go, and you just got the okey doke and right on down the river. So did Stacey Nash, but she had to come to Jesus moment and is now trying to come back to the fold. Like Rhonda said, they all crash and burn at some point. And the thing that they learn is that those same white people that put them up to this dastardly conversation, as soon as they're of no further use to them, they're going to kick them to the curb. And then they got to come out and be, where's my people? Where are my people? And that's when they start trying to come back to the fold. And we've seen it. History repeats itself. We've seen it over and over and over. It's the same okie doke that they use every single time. And they get somebody out talking and, somebody talk ignorant, somebody talk intelligently. And as long as we can trick more Black folks and confuse their minds, it's almost like, con artists that do that switcheroo game where you got the cards or you got the ball under the cup and they just keep on switching it real fast and whatever. And they know the whole time, many times, what you're looking for is not even in any of the cups. It's a complete blank. It's a complete con game. And you get the people that never figure it out and they keep picking that. No, it wasn't there. Let me try. It wasn't the outer cup. Let me try the inner cup. It wasn't the inner cup. And the whole time the con man is laughing because they know it's a con from the beginning. But all they need to do is con a few more people, get a few more votes, and boom, there it is. So man, she's a dangerous little sister. She's really dangerous,
right? And they don't care how they say it to get their agenda across,
right?
And who they don't care. They want to get it out there. They don't care who they hate. They just want to get their agenda out there. Now, if you're gonna make me try to eat some poo-poo, I want to say the other word,
special pies, as one called it.
Then you massage my throat and rub my back to make it go down easier. But they ain't trying to make anything go down easier. They just spitting it out there and just want you to just swallow it whole. No, they're dangerous.
Very dangerous. And she's the most dangerous of all of them. And that's frightening. That's frightening. Come on with Kanye. When he ran for president, her later annoyed he did it to steal votes from Biden and help the orange man. And Daniel, I don't know why we can't figure out the divide and conquer trick, because that has been used against the Black community, Black on Black, for so many times. It's like, you mean to tell me y'all ain't figured that one out yet? Y'all haven't figured that one out yet. And we fall for it every single time. And we ain't even gonna talk about Omarosa. Ooh, listen, did Omarosa have to come back to Jesus? Did she have a come back to Jesus moment where she tried, baby, that orange apparition kicked her out like a dirty tramp?
Yeah, will do. Will do.
Like a dirty tramp, we put her out, baby.
Her juices dried up.
Listen, dried up, arid extra dry. Extra dry. A 3-card. Thank you. I didn't know what it was called. 3-card Monty. You know exactly what I'm saying. One reason, and it's a con game the whole time, and people just keep on and keep on and keep on like they can't figure it out. And I'm like, to the Black community, how long are we gonna go around this mulberry bush and get sucked in to this? It's really amazing. But
how long are we gonna allow ourselves to be the token?
Oh man. I mean, Rhonda, royalty. It's just, but we do, and the thing about, and I'm going to say this about Candace particularly because he's highly intelligent, so she's the best weapon that they have. Is that for younger people that are clueless, she makes sense. For younger people that don't know the facts of the truth and history and other things, she makes a whole lot of sense. And that comes from when I think about the scripture, it says people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because she either converts, perverts, gives disinformation, retells a different narrative. And she's so young. One reason she's so young that she's very appealing to the young people. And again, it's that young generation that doesn't know any better and is clueless almost. They have no clue. But in their understanding and the way that she's telling the stories, it makes absolutely perfect sense. And man, that's just danger walking. That's like all kinds of dynamite. That's some C4. That ain't regular dynamite. That's C4. She is C4 walking and talking. And the others, Clarence, I wish somebody would Danny Dean, where you at? I wish somebody's soul would catch on fire, but I ain't talking about the way that they talk. I don't mean it the way that song means it. I wish somebody's soul would catch on fire, because at the end of the day, could it be? It's the devil. It ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So I thought that was interesting. I did want to share that as we're talking about moving the Black community forward. And y'all know I'm so much about that. Everything in me is like, how can we bring the Black community forward? Now, that being said, I see you fairly all day. She knows how to package it to appeal to their lack of understanding. And you said it exactly. That's it in a nutshell. She knows how to package it to appeal to the understanding or that lack of understanding. And it's definitely lack of understanding. And that's unfortunate. And we've got to do a better job of educating our young people, because at the end of the day, we have almost 2 to 3 generations that are absolutely clueless. And we're talking about stuff, just like I said the other day, if we stop and think about it, this time, because the I don't know if you all realize, the Tuskegee experiment that they were doing with the Black men, it was 50 years ago, and it did not stop until November, even though it was exposed earlier in the year by Time magazine. Tuskegee experiments on those Black men did not stop until the month of November 50 years ago. So if you take that in stride, 50 years ago today, they were still doing the experiments on Black men with syphilis. Now, even though we're only talking 50 years ago, you have generations that have no clue that as recently as 50 years ago today, right now today, we ain't talking about in the far distant past. We're talking about right now today, that was still going on 50 years ago. They were still experimenting on Black men with syphilis and letting them die and everything else. So, and using them as human lab rats. And this was not something off the radar. This was this was what was going on nationally. And they knew this was happening to Black men, and they were using us as lab rats. So at the end of the day, when you understand and have, there are those that hear that idea, man, did you know that they were using Black people for lab rats and da 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 da? We're talking about the Centers for Disease Control at the national level. Was it running this experiment illegally on these Black people, broad as day, wide open daylight? And they think about, oh, that's a story I read in the past. 50 years ago today, they were doing that. I was born and some years old, and they were still doing that. But the generations that come after me are completely clueless to how recent this is. And so in their mind, as we're doing all this conversation about how things have changed and how much we've grown, they're completely oblivious to the fact that we're talking about stuff that just happened yesterday. Just happened yesterday. And I'll let you guys comment on that. Yeah, come on, Stacy. We were 8 years old and I was older, and they were out here doing experiments. I'm saying illegally from the standpoint that they were using human beings for lab rats without full disclosure, and it was federally funded and sanctioned by the government. So it wasn't illegal in that regard, but it was in the righteousness of God, what they did was illegally done against Black people, and the government, this government, was sanctioning it. And you're talking about something in my lifetime. I'm not talking about before I was born. This was in my lifetime, but the generations behind me are still clueless if they've even heard that there was an experiment done. They think it was so far in the past that, oh, we're so far beyond. No, ma'am, no, sir. We're still in that same struggle. If we've moved 1 inch, that's questionable. But at the end of the day, they're still doing the same thing to us, and they're still lynching and killing us and experimenting on us in medical and everything else. Crimes against humanity is what I'm talking about at its finest. And we're talking about in my lifetime, but the generations behind me don't know that it's that recent. I think we've done a very piss poor job of educating our babies. And I'll let you all talk on that, if you want.
I'll say the generations after you aren't as disconnected as it may seem. A lot of us are really up to speed on our history and how to move forward. But there are a lot of things that need to be changed that the older generation and us younger generation people, if we came together, could make some great change in this world. Shout out to the younger generations.
I love the younger generation. Love the younger generation, and no shade on them. I just we gotta educate. We gotta educate. Royal Confessions.
Tyrone tickles me.
I mean, y'all on this train about how the younger generation don't.
Y'all,
we disconnected, so we don't know our history. So I just wanted to say, we know our history.
I wouldn't say it's just the younger generation, but there's a lot of us that don't know all of the history. And until we know all of it, little change can be done. But there's still a lot that hasn't been talked about. Mm-hmm. And that's what they don't want us to talk about.
Exactly.
They don't want us to bring it to light. So it's not down on the younger generation.
Exactly.
It's just that we all need to learn, and we all need to understand what they are doing behind the scenes, what they've done behind the scenes, what they continue to do behind the scenes, because if we don't talk about it, they will continue. Look how many years that took place before something ever came about to stop it.
Yes, I agree with you, Rebel. And there's no shade whatsoever to the young people. What I'm saying, it's not being taught. You can't know what you haven't been taught. And the younger generation is not disconnected. And I wasn't saying the younger generation was at fault or less than. If you hear what I'm saying, when I say we, I'm talking about our generation needs to teach it to our younger generation so that you can be fully aware. Not to say that you're not, but I do feel like there are elements and things that it's not being taught. It's not being taught. It's not being talked about. So then this is the play. And exactly, Daniel. We in school get the white man's version of history, which is always a watered down version. Unless you have, somebody that's really out there giving you the information, TIZ, telling it like it TIZ tis, you're going to get a watered down version, and depending on where your sources are and how much you dig it out. Now, because as for me, I had to dig it out because they sure wasn't going to teach it at the school I went to. I had to dig it out, but I wanted to be aware, and I made myself aware even as a young person. So definitely not that I'm saying anything negative about the young people. It is a matter of saying that we got to get the information out. I see you, Tall Pumps. They said, don't believe your seeing eyes. Take this shot and forget about the past because I said so. And definitely that. And as SK said earlier, I won't scroll all the way back up, but they knew penicillin was a cure and still wouldn't give it to them. That's some crazy stuff.
That was horrible. Just to see the way, those men lost functions. These were vibrant, hardworking men, and who went through the experiment, and it destroyed them.
Absolutely.
And the government knew what they were doing to them.
On purpose, in my lifetime. And that's what I want people to really, really make that connection, how recent all of this is in my lifetime this was going, and many of you that are listening and participating in your lifetime as well. You honestly were not aware of it, Joanna G. It's not the younger generations for lack of knowledge, but we as younger people need to know, and we don't always know. Exactly. But you can't know what's not being talked about, what's not being taught. And that's why I'm saying we, and I take that to the older people, we've got to make sure that our young people know the truth and not what they're being spoon fed in lies and deception by these folks that are out recreating the history. I am the biggest millennial support you can find, but there's so much they don't know and understand. I hear you fairly all day. And I would have to say in my conversations that I've had, the picture is interesting. And the thing about that is these are some of the most genius and intelligent young people, this generation that we have now. And it's so sad that there's so much of our Black history that is unknown to our Black young geniuses. It's heart-wrenching. I'm going to guess they're either told the men it was an experiment with some other drug or just didn't tell them at all. It can still be sanctioned without the subject having to know. Oh, Stacey, there's a whole story behind Tuskegee and what they did to those men. And at the end of the day, I won't take time to go through all of that today, but we may talk about that in another stream. It's not being taught. You got to go find it yourself. Exactly. And that's how I did. I searched it out, one reason, because I surely was not taught it. Or wait until you go to college. And even in college, you may not get it. Even in college, you may not get it. I see you fairly all day, or tend to get from non-reliable sources. Exactly. Folks that really don't know what they're talking about and give information that then becomes disinformation and you're believing the wrong thing. You think us knowing this is important because we could be an experiment right now. I hear you, Joanna G. And this is the thing why many were opposed to the vaccine. Because again, you talk about something that during our lifetime, they were experimenting on Black folk. And so there is that concern about, are you actually going to do something crazy to me with the medicine that you want to give me? We just learned about the 3 Black women who were behind the space adventure. Come on, we just learned about Hidden Figures. Just Daniel. And Hollywood had to tell us that. Because you sure weren't going to learn it in your typical history class. So there you have it. They told the Tuskegee, you're responding, soldiers, they were getting free health care. Now, and you know what's so really bad about that, SK? And part of their resolution was they only had a small pot, in my opinion, that they split up amongst all of those family members of the experiment. And then what they gave them, lifetime free health care. Now, if that isn't some irony, you're going to tell me you're giving me health care and kill me off, and then part of my reparation is free health care. Rhonda, what are you thinking, dear?
Girl, I'm not. I'm not thinking anything at all, because I will be cussing on this session, and I don't want to do that tonight.
Come on, Michelle Brown, because they took that syphilis back home to the families
Right.
that had it home.
Right.
So exactly, it wasn't.
And they knew that.
They knew it. They knew it and purposely did it. That was their intention.
Right. And see, the thing is, if we don't talk about that now, they would come up with something else and mimic that because they got away with it then.
Yeah.
So they'll try it again.
Yeah. And really, like I said, the Times came out with the article. I want to say it was like April, May, whenever it came out, but they didn't actually stop the experiment until November. And the only reason why they stopped it there was so much of a public outcry against them that it forced them to stop. But they, even after they were exposed with the experiment, they kept right on chugging along and had no intention of quitting. That's some insanity right there.
So even once it was exposed, you had people still going and going through with the experiment?
They were still doing the experiment. And even at that point, the only way they would give the men, the penicillin, they had to ask for it. If they didn't ask for it, they wouldn't give it to them.
So once it was exposed and the men knew what I've been exposed to is not what I signed up for, the men were still going back?
The men were sick. So at the end of the day, you're trying to find some kind of means by which to live. And then also take into consideration, you're talking about, and one of the reasons why they did it, you're talking about men, they didn't know what penicillin was. White folks didn't know what penicillin was, much less some black men down in the deep South. And so you had people that were lacking the education. While it may seem like, wow, why would they do that? These were uneducated people that were trusting the so-called governmental system that was supposed to be taking care of them. And even at that, just because Joe Blow public across the country may have read the article, didn't mean the folks down in Alabama was reading the article, because I'm sure some of those men couldn't read.
Yeah.
Which is triply egregious. So, at the end of the day, listen, just when the coronavirus vaccine became available, Bill Gates and other doctors said it would not be effective unless the black community got the shot. No one said any other race would make it effective. We've been used numerous times, Daniel, the black community, and continue to be used as guinea pigs, and whether we realize it or not. And I have to say, even for myself, they still were going. They had to go back to those same people to get the cure. Exactly, Michelle. I ended up, and I got the one that they ended up saying was least effective. And I went down in the black community and got it because at that time, if you remember, they were determining who got what and when. And so at the point in time that it was available to myself, I went ahead and went and got it, but it definitely was not the same thing that other people were getting. So it's like, how do we get the most ineffective vaccine down in the urban core, but everybody else has something different? So, at the end of the day, if you can determine by your zip code what you're going to send me, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. So, I have a problem with that. And so you can say, oh, they're just all getting a vaccine. No, zip code and what you're shipping where, when there's a difference between here and there, I have a problem with that. I really do. One of the side effects of syphilis was diminished mental capacity, absolutely, as well as other heart issues that developed from it as well. Man, it was just so egregious. And at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. We've got to be able to get this information so that people understand what it is that we're, oh, no. It's no problem with your late response. I appreciate you, honey. Cook that food. What you having for dinner? I probably need to come over. So this is, again, when we are not effective in teaching and sharing. And I'm looking at myself now as I get older, and I say, I'm getting at that age and stage where if I don't share this with younger people so that they have a better grasp and understanding of what has happened even in my lifetime, and they are not being taught it, and we have such a fight that's going on about CRT and so on and so forth. Man, it's if you can't tell your history, and if somebody else is telling your history, it's always going to be a jacked up deal.
Yeah.
So that right there. Now, this is where I'm really going to go, and we're going to close out with this, because at the end of the day, I'm about change, and I am. For anybody that checked in with me on the 2:00, I am very much on the idea of being intentional right about now. We've got to be intentional. We've got to do what we're going to do. Isn't it interesting that they have pulled away from COVID talk amidst the election session? According to the government, the pandemic is over, right? This is also confusing. I hear you, Tall Pumps. Joanna G. I am very grateful that I found your stream for the information that you have gained. Oh, bless you, baby. I hope that, listen, if I don't do anything else, I just want to make people aware I just want to make people aware. I want you to look at this meme for what it is, you guys. And this is where I'm going to say I'm really about us being intentional. We can keep talking, but at some point, I feel like, just like this meme indicates, some point we've got to stand up and tell this system the party is over. And I feel like, we need to really come up with some tangibles. We need to really come up with some tangible solutions to getting in a place where we can stand up. Our COVID numbers are really high right now. Royal Confessions, I know more people right now that have COVID than I've known for a long time, but COVID is definitely on the upswing. COVID and monkeypox are not going anywhere. The jig is up, y'all. I got you. Now, the jig is up. If the people stand, and I want you to look at this, the party is over. Agree or disagree, and or why? And I'll start with you, Tyrone.
Oh, totally agree. I mean, if we start to stand up and make some change, and I feel that that's where we struggled a little bit with the stand up part, the party's over. Like this from the representation of this picture, like we carry this country. We are the most creative. We're the hard workers, and shout out to everybody else who work hard and all that good stuff, creative people. But I mean, we've developed this country on our backs. And when we start to stand up for change and difference, the party's over. We continue to allow people to do what they've always done. And just because we get a little bit of growth and a little bit of opportunity, we feel that we're comfortable now, and then we stop the fight. We have to keep it going. And once we stand up, the party's over.
And what in your opinion, Tyrone, and thank you for that. What in your opinion keeps us from standing up? You said we have trouble standing up. What keeps us from standing up?
I think one, like I said, we get comfortable, and every new little opportunity, every little piece of the pie, the American dream that we feel we get, we feel we're okay in that space. Like I've accomplished something, I've gained something, but there's always something to fight for, and I think we've just become comfortable over time. Like people don't fight for the rights of us like they used to. Like at this point, I can't tell you who our black leaders are. Most people probably say Oprah. I mean, it's there's a huge shift in the times before and the times now, and I think we've just gotten comfortable with the little bit that's been given to us.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your perspective. I appreciate that. Rhonda.
I'm trying to decide which way to go. But one thing I say, we're talking about who are our black leaders. If you don't see a black leader, then stand up and be the black leader. Because we're always looking out somewhere else. Sometimes it might be us. And then I look at this picture, and I'm not going to go political, but since I am a elected official, I believe it's true because we're not the states, they say the states, so there's a red state and you're a blue state and blah, blah. Not necessarily. We are a non-voting state. If we can get our people to vote, to make changes, we can see things happen. We can honestly see things happen. If you all go and look, and that's a challenge for you guys. Go and look at your statistics of how many people are actually voting. We are a non-voting race. Not a red race, not a blue race. We're non-voting, and we need to do better. We have got to put the people in there that care for us, and we don't have that. And we've got to stand up ourselves. And like he said, we get comfortable. Anything that comes and we have a bad day, we're ready to give up, or something coming, we're ready to shut down. And we can't do that because, like you said, our dollars are more important. We got so many dollars that we're spending elsewhere instead of building ourselves up. We are so creative. There's nothing that we cannot do. Everybody wants to mimic everything that we do. We have so much talent. We need to get up and just do it. But God, we have got to vote. And I've got to go that way because I'm an elected official. And I know what I see every time there's election. I'm shaking my head, and I'm hurt behind it because they are not voting. We are not voting.
Yeah, I don't think we realize what a huge impact we have on this country. And I know for me, for a long time, it's like, well, my vote won't matter. I'm just one person. And I think a lot of us, like growing up as a kid, voting wasn't a huge thing in my household. So it was like, because it was always like, my vote ain't gonna matter. And I think a lot of us have taken on that mentality without realizing that, we have a huge impact on this country. And if we actually got out and voted and elected people from your community up to the White House, we could get some change done. But again, we have to get out there and vote. That's the only way we're going to make a difference. And every vote matters.
See, and that's the main thing, is because you want to talk about Biden's not doing this, Kamala's not doing that. You have to realize that you're talking about one person.
Mm-hmm.
What about all your representatives? What about all your Congress? What about all of those together that makes the decisions? We're talking about one person. No, we need everybody.
Yep.
I like that. Good, excellent conversation going on here in the chat. You get out and pound the pavement begging folks to vote. Turnout day slim. I get you. I get you fairly all day.
I know fairly. We get vans to go and make sure they have transportation. We buy food. We have music. I mean, we try everything to get people to go vote. That's a right that we have that we do not exercise.
And like Rhonda was saying, a lot of people think of just the president. That's a whole lot before we get to that point.
The president.
We gotta vote. And we gotta count the marbles, and we gotta take the test and just stand out there. But we gotta vote. We can't complain about things not changing if we don't do our part.
Right. In SK, you're right. Voting has to be a habit, not a one and done activity.
Yeah.
Always start local. What changes are being made local? I vote for every school board, city directors, county directors, state, all of that prior to doing the United States of the president. There's little things that we've got to do on the ground. Boots on the ground, local, makes a difference.
I hear y'all. And I hear you. When I'm outside, I did voter registration. I had my daughter with me a few times. I hear you. And those of you that are out there beating the pavement to try to get the people out, we appreciate you. And at the end of the day, as Royal Confessions has identified, it still ends up being slim or low voter turnout. And which I'm sure in and of itself is can be discouraging, but you just keep doing it because you have to. I guess I am. I hear you fairly. I hear you. All of it. It starts at the local level. You got to be active and present and accounted for at all levels. And in actuality, it's just all so important. You can't miss any of it if at all possible. Get in the fight. And I can sense you. It breaks your heart fairly. I can feel it. And again, with the understanding of what all it took to give us, particularly Black folks, the opportunity and the right to vote. People literally died. People literally shed their blood. And we can say that a million times. And that's just, at this point, it's almost like cliche words. It means nothing. And it really doesn't resonate with the folks that just don't care and feel like it's not going to make a difference. So,
and speaking of, I really think we should start to look into a different way of voting. I also feel we make up a large population of the hospitality community of workers, the service workers. And when you think of people having to sit in those lines for hours, that discourages a lot of people. I think as a country, we really need to start to look into another way of safe voting.
Well, there's absentee voting if you want to consider that safe.
Well, I think we should be able to vote from our homes. Just my opinion.
Well, you do. You have your election form and you mail it in. That's from your home.
Yeah, but I mean, I still want to get a sticker, so I would want.
I'll mail you one, Tyrone. I'll mail you one. I'll mail you one. That I'll mail you one. And then going back to the Tall Pumps and I, a conversation about Kamala and Joe Biden. Y'all know all those people are in it together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come out in public and they fight against each other and they do all this bickering. And when the cameras shut down, they're going to lunch together. They're going to their granddaughter's birthday parties together. They're all in it together.
Right.
I'm just going to be honest. They're all
true.
in it together.
That's true.
That's why we need to vote and get people in there that really care about our well-being, the greater cause of our well-being. Okay, Topaz, I'll get you a sticker.
They want those stickers, baby. They want those stickers. They want them.
And also, I would say really know what their platforms are.
Mm-hmm.
Because us as a people, we're going to vote Democrat regardless.
No.
And that may not be what it should be. Vote for the people who you feel represent your needs and wants.
Yep.
Now, most of us do Democrat. Not saying what I do, but I'm just saying as a culture, we typically do Democrat.
I know a lot of people that vote Republican. I know a lot.
I'm saying it's both sides. But I'm just saying, know what you're running, know who you're putting in office, know what their platform is, know what they're running for. Just don't just select someone because that's what you're used to doing, and then you sit back and say, "Well, they haven't done anything." Well, did you even know what they were running for? Did you know what their agenda was? So, know who you're putting in any electoral position.
I got you. And I hear that. Now, yes, go ahead. No,
well, then there needs to be a change in the way we vote for that. Because if you vote in your primary one way, when it comes to the general, they're going to give you that same ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of hurts being able to vote the way you said, because I believe you ought to be able to vote the person for the greater good, whoever. You check their agenda, see what they're all about, and vote for them. But there's some time when they're going to give you a Republican ballot or a Democrat ballot. So I think that should be a change that we need to talk about. So that we're not doing a straight ticket.
Yeah.
Stacey came up with an alternative, the idea that has been floated and flirted with for a long time, an American party, not Republican or Democrat, but a party that's actually for the people, not the money. And, definitely, I think you're addressing the fact that our current system is so money driven. And then Danny came out and reiterated and echoed that big money rules America. And you've got big money that's actually determining your political landscape right now. So, and I hear you're not affiliated. I got you on that.
We have those that's supposed to be doing the same thing. Yeah, we have the Green Party and we have the Independent Party. So there are other parties out there. They just do not get the same recognition as the Republican or the Democrat.
They don't.
So yeah, but they're there. They're supposed to be the American Party, but it's not working.
It's not working.
They don't have the money like the Republican and Democrat, because it's all about money.
Whatever happened to that black contract?
Contract for Black America? It just went black. It faded to black. That's what happened to it. It faded to black. Okay. If you don't know now, you know.
Right.
Now, that being said, I'm gonna use that for a perfect segue, and we're gonna get ready to let you guys go. But at the end of the day, that being said, money is driving politics in such a monstrous way right now that it is hard to see forward in this current system for anything that's going to ever bring us to diversity, equity, and inclusion through the political system. So I see you, Tall Pumps. They got money, just not for us. Now I'm gonna come a little bit differently, and I'm gonna get out of here. But Michelle sent me something. It faded to black fairly all day. It faded to black. It did. It just went right.
We get ready to have the cracks. What you get ready to show? The cracks?
No. This is serious. Michelle sent me this. Michelle Brownell sent me this, and I'm an advocate, and so let me tell you, and I know people don't like this opinion that I continue to espouse to, but because at the end of the day, politics, all of that, and yes, I vote and I do all of the things that I'm supposed to do. I don't believe in the electoral system that we currently have. I do not believe in it. I participate in it. I do not believe it's effective. I don't believe it's ever going to be effective as long as big money is running it. So, and big money is running it. At the end of the day, we might as well quit lying, tell the truth, shame the devil. Big money is running this country. So, my thing is, at the end of the day, why, even as you said, Stacey, let's go with an American Party that's for the people. But as has already been said, it's out there. It's of no effect. It doesn't have the money, and let's just call a spade a spade. It doesn't have the money to compete with the Republican and the Democratic Party. Money. So my position here: continue to fight the good fight in the political system. But I ain't looking for no hope for me out of the political system, because it's two dirty wings to the same dirty bird as far as I'm concerned. Black people need to command economics. And I feel like until we command our own economics, because at the end of the day, economics and money is what's driving politics. And if you ain't got none, and if I don't care, Rhonda Royal can be the best person for that job all day at the higher level. If the funding for her opponent outnumbers her 10 times the one, she ain't gonna win. It doesn't have anything to do with qualifications. It doesn't have anything to do with how honest her integrity or anything like that. At this stage of the game, it's about money. So at the end of the day, I'm a strong advocate that we need to command and create our own money. We need to create our own money systems. We need to create our own economic base. And as long as we keep playing this game of politics with them, they are just laughing, in my opinion, in our face that we keep doing this. We keep doing the same thing, expecting a change and a difference. But they've shown us for many years, this is what is ruling and running this world. And I don't care what you vote. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you bring qualified people in here to run in opposition. If you don't have the money and the funding, it's not going to happen. So I'm an advocate right now, for real, y'all. I feel like we need to attack our financial base and start building money. Now, this video that Michelle Brownell sent me. Listen, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. So it ain't funny. Money talks, and you know what walks. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like we as Black people need to shift our attention and stay in the community, stay in the electoral process. Don't leave it. But I think we need to shift our attentions to money, because money is what's making the difference out here in this world. And you're not going to see that in politics. So at the end of the day, Michelle sent me this, and I want us to, I'm a disruptor. I know I'm a disruptor. And while we continue to vote, while we continue to be in the process, I'm still going to say, Black folks, we need to command money, because until we do, we are not going to amount to a hill of beans in these people's eyes. So I want to share this, and Michelle sent it to me, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm sharing it, and we're going to get ready to get out of here. We're almost completed. But listen to this. It blessed me. She knows this is the way, this is definitely the way my brain thinks and operates. So listen to this. Come on, SK. Economic base is key. Money, bartering, exchange of services, etc. Until we get in the arena in the economic situation, y'all just bumping gums and blowing hot air as far as I'm concerned. Now, here we go. Look at this and let's talk about it briefly and we're going to get out of here.
She came up with this really, really good idea. And I was like, yo, that's dope. You should do it. And she was like, I can't. I just looked on Instagram and saw that they already have that. I said, so why can't you do it? She was like, because it's already on Instagram. Somebody already did it. I said, okay, so why can't you do it? She said, because somebody already did it. I said, didn't Rihanna create Fenty like there wasn't Mac? Did she not create Savage Fenty like we didn't have Victoria's Secret and other lingerie stores? How many McDonald's and Burger Kings are across from each other like they don't sell the same food? How many beauty supplies is selling the same bundle on the same block? Okay, the market is oversaturated, but it don't have a you, baby. Like if God gave you the gift, your gift gonna pop differently from theirs. Everything you touch prospers. So if they did it first, it don't matter. Yours gonna be different because the market is missing a you. And she was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Yeah, Rihanna wasn't thinking like that either. She just created because God gave her a gift. And now look, billionaire, you sleep. So y'all, let me tell you about this conversation I had with one of my friends. I just couldn't believe it. Okay, so she came up with this really, really good idea. And I was like, yo, that's dope. You should do it. And she was like, I can't. I just looked on Instagram and saw that they already have that. I said, so why can't you do it? She was like, because it's already on Instagram. Somebody already did it. I said, okay, so why can't you do it? She said, because somebody already did it. I said, didn't Rihanna create Fenty like there wasn't Mac? Did she not create Savage Fenty like we didn't have Victoria's Secret and other lingerie stores? How many McDonald's and Burger Kings are across from each other like they don't sell the same food? How many beauty supplies is selling the same bundle on the same block? Okay, the market is oversaturated, but it don't have a you, baby. Like if God gave you the gift, your gift gonna pop differently from theirs. Everything you touch prospers. So if they did it first, it don't matter. Yours gonna be different because the market is missing a you. And she was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Yeah, Rihanna wasn't thinking like that either. She just created because God gave her a gift. And now look, billionaire, you sleep. So y'all, let me tell you about this conversation I had with one of my friends.
This. Come on, I see you fairly. This to me is where Black folk need to go with new thought. I appreciate y'all being in the struggle. I appreciate y'all. We got to vote. We got to get in there. But the process has already shown us it's failing us over and over again. We got to get in the fight. We got to get in the economic base. And Michelle, thank you so much for sharing that with me because she knows my heart. She knows the way I think. And I said, this is what we need to start pushing. While yes, I want to have some candidates groomed and all of that, I want Black folks to start pushing, like she said, like she did hers. And it's like, okay, yeah, there was already a Mac. So there was already a Victoria's Secret. So Black folk need to get in the economic market and start creating and generating businesses. And even like she said, I can't do that because there's already one out there. I can't do that because there's already one. What does that mean to you? It's not you. It's not you. So put yourself out there and get yourself together. Black folks let fear grip them at their very core. Come on with that. And so at the end of the day, this is where I feel like we need to be putting our energy, not knocking the voting. And I'm definitely not telling you that you don't need it. But I'm telling you what, until we get an economic base, y'all just blowing hot air because ain't nothing going to happen for this Black community till we command Black dollars. So in my thought, this is where we need to shift our energies because we spend so much energy in the political arena that we know has lobbyists and big money and dark money and all of these things going undercurrent. While we're spending so much energy in that space, what are we doing to create our economic base and say, okay, let's shift our gears and let's put Black people, because we know Black dollars are some of the largest dollars out here. In when you start talking about the economy, let Black folks take their Black dollars, let Black women take their Black female dollars out of the economy, and let's see what happens. It ain't gonna look so good for folk. So this is where I'm saying, while y'all spending and expending energy on all of that, I'm saying shift that gear, and we need to start focusing on building our economic base and our economics with businesses that are Black owned and operating, that can be thriving, fabulous businesses. And as she said, it didn't matter that the market was out there. It didn't matter that the market was saturated. What mattered was that she needed to have the dream and the vision and execute it and put it out there, and bam, billionaire, billionaire, billionaire. And I feel like we are missing the boat because we will not get our money. We will not get our coins. We just will not do it. And we are Fairly All Day. We are the largest consumers, period. But for whatever reason, explain it to me, Lucy, why we cannot come to an understanding that until we bind our dollars together. And I don't want to hear, now we're going to separate and do it. Y'all don't say nothing about going to Chinatown. Y'all don't say nothing about going to the part of the towns that have the Jewish sections. You don't say anything about going to Italian areas of town. But then when it comes to Black folk, you don't want to go to the Black fight. And why don't we have thriving businesses? Why don't we have parts of town where when visitors come to our town, that the visitors want to find, where's the Black section of town? I want to go over there and shop. Where's the Black section of town? I want to go over there and spend my dollars. Why would we exclude ourselves from that opportunity? Explain it to me, Lucy. So just from this video right here, I'm saying, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. But until we understand that the future is economic in the Black community, y'all gonna still be singing this same song and dance. Please let us sit at the table 50 years from now. Why we can't wait? And we will have waited another 50 years. And with that, I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Well, for us, that has been in the making for quite a while now. So our energy has been turned that way already. We have several Black businesses in the state of Arkansas. Matter of fact, last night I was at a Black artisan market here in Fort Smith where it was nobody but Black businesses there that came out. And so that we've been doing that for quite a while. You all know that I'm working with the Black Chamber of Commerce of the state of Arkansas. So we're working on that, and we're getting monies and grants and all that so that we can continue to help Black businesses grow, the small Black business get started. So our energy has been turned toward that for quite a while. We have several, and we talked before about the food trucks.
Yes.
We talked before about people, homemade items that people are now doing. We buying their candles and store it instead of going to what's the place I used to go to all the time? In the mall. I got all them candles and everything. Well, we're buying them from the homemade now from Black people. We've got Black I can't even think now. We got so much stuff in my head. But we have all come out and we're supporting each other. We're bringing people in. We have Black consultants that have started businesses. We have Black I lost track of so much stuff that we have going on here, because that's something that we've been talking about. Like, instead of doing like a big thing all at one time, to just do small here, and then we all come together and make it large and grow. So we've been doing that for quite a while. I am truly impressed about what has been taking place in the state of Arkansas. Now, it's not Yandel, it's the one that all the perfume, the cherry, jasmine cherry, all that in the mall. What's the name?
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works. Y'all know I got Bath and Body Works out the wazoo. You come to my house, you can have anything. Well, I'm taking my money now and buying it from this Black businesses that makes her own candles, her own body wash, her own skin products. We have several of those here, and some people have moved into Fort Smith from other places. Awesome. We have restaurants that have opened here. We have jewelry. They make their own jewelry. We have the car lots. We have the anything. But what we're trying to do now is we're working on getting additional funds to help build them, so that when there is a big corporation here or something going big, that these smaller businesses can get the contract. Because when they're out looking for folks, they always want to give the contracts to the big companies that they're aware of.
Mhm.
And so no, we now want them to give the small businesses an opportunity.
And that is where the future lies. And
Right.
I want to say this, and I know we got to start small, but I'm gonna say it. I said it the other week, and I'm gonna say it again. I want a Black automotive manufacturer. I ain't
Okay.
talking about just the dealership. I'm talking about where Black
Hey,
folks.
well, you have to start somewhere, but we've started.
You got to start. But I'm saying everything that's in the market, and since Black dollars, as we know, are the biggest dollars, period, then I want to see. I was driving to church today. I saw Black folks driving Maseratis. I saw Black
Right.
I saw everything riding down the street. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, Tall Pumps. Where is the Black owned grocery store? We need
Hey,
some.
well, y'all need to go out and visit, because what you're talking about is in existence. Don't act like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
about to say.
existing, because it does.
Oh, no. In mass. I'm not saying John Studios, thank you for the raid. No, I'm not oblivious to that. I'm saying thank you for the raid, John Studios. Thank you for coming through. And I just want to acknowledge at the end of the day, Crazy Berrytown, I see you. John, I see you. And everybody else that's coming over in the raid, so much love to you. And I appreciate you for bringing your beautiful people over into the Lion's Den. Thank you so very much. And Crazy Berrytown, thank you for that resub 13 months in a row. I appreciate you. No, I'm not saying, and to get back to the conversation, I'm not saying it's not in existence. I'm saying this is where the push needs to be, all energies in this direction. Because while we're spending, go ahead.
I was like, but because like Rhonda was saying, those things are out there, but we also have to support them.
Oh, I agree.
A lot of things, for some odd reason, and I believe this to my heart, we are the hardest on our own people. And we want to promote, we want these Black businesses and this, that, and the other, but we won't support them. And that's where the fail comes in at. We'd rather go to the white man, because for us, white is right, whether y'all want to accept it or not. Now, there are some Black people out there that support Black businesses and Black professionals, Black doctors, and this, that, and the other. But there's a whole lot of us that believe white is right. So we can push for this, but we gotta support them.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
we don't. We'd rather give our dollars to the white man.
I agree. And this, when you talk to that mindset that you're speaking of, is exactly why I'm saying we've got to make this push. We've got to get people's minds renewed. We've got to get them recalibrated. Because at the end of the day, if we don't come together with all of our phenomenal Black dollars and start making a difference, we're going to still be singing this same song and dance 50 years from now. And it's not going to be because of politics. It's not going to be because who you voted for. It's going to be because we don't have an economic base. And until go ahead.
We had to play a Raisin in the Sun with Shirley Murdoch. They came in and they did the play for Juneteenth. And that entire cast, the whole week that they were here rehearsing and all of that before the show happened, they did not support anybody but Black businesses.
That's what I'm talking about.
They went to the Black restaurants, the Black food. I mean, everything. They put their money in only Black businesses while they were here.
That's what I'm talking about. And even as Fairley's pointing out, Hank Aaron pushed for this, and you think his legacy is still moving forward with this idea. This is the push. And I'm not oblivious to the fact that it exists. I'm going to play this little clip that's going on here in Dallas, and I'm glad to be here. I said, well, since I'm here, I'm going to go. But at the end of the day, we have to unify the Black community and make everybody aware. Spend your dollars with Black business. And we've got to get this idea that, again, as you keep saying, white is right. And then if you go Black, you're just going to get some kind of problematic scenario and Now, at the end of the day, we have to really, really work to bring the value. We have to work to bring the integrity. We have to work to bring all of those things that are required to make a good business. But at the end of the day, now let's be truthful. Some of our black dollars are going to white businesses that don't have value. We're going to white businesses that don't have integrity. And as you said, we'll turn around on the black people and be 20 times harder on black people than we will the white folks. And sometimes, honey, the white folk done molested us, raped us, and everything else in the business transaction, and we keep going back. So at the end of the day, we have to really start to, in my opinion, start to readdress this issue and push it. Because if we don't have a black economic base, we can keep talking till, and that's why the other minority communities, that's why the Asian community can come and get attention after just a few things happening to them. They have money. And the Hispanic community is on the come up and getting a whole lot of attention and recognition and movement in their direction. They have money. Everybody done came here and, oh, listen, I know some Hispanics, baby. I went to a side.
They work hard though.
But at the end of the day, let me tell you what, at the end of the day, in my sister's neighborhood, they have come in and bought up that whole daggum community. They have come in and they are the landlords. They own that whole community.
They know how to pull that money together.
They put that money together.
They know how to. That family gonna pull that money together. They all work and live in a one bedroom. Listen, I appreciate it.
Right, and send the money back home to their family.
But we can do that. So right here,
we want to be so better than the next.
Because we driving that Maserati. I ain't gonna send no money. So at the end of the day, even the area that I'm in right now is in a complete transition from black to Hispanic. And while I was driving to church this morning, baby, bright and early in the morning, those Hispanics were on top of the roof. Mm-hmm. They were fixing those houses. They were up there doing construction. And I tell you what, some were chilling over here, some were but baby, they were working on those houses. And I can almost tell you, probably in less than 5 years, that whole entire community is going to be all Hispanic, and they will be the landlords and the owners of that property that we formerly owned, have lost. And then at the end of the day, it was like, but why didn't you buy some property? Why didn't you buy some houses? Why didn't you buy the house next door, the lot next door? Why didn't you buy that? And instead of doing that, we'll drive a Maserati.
That's my goal for next year. We getting real estate. We're gonna make some changes, some generational wealth.
Come on.
And don't be so quick to sell everything you have. Just keep it in keep that land there for a little while.
Well, and at the end of the day, this is where I'm saying, and I'm getting ready to get out of here. Who said this? Fairly said, first ownership, dealership ownerships come through. That's weird, Stacey. You shop at a lot of black-owned shops, and their stuff is so much better than the white stores, and that does not tend to be unusual. Reputable black stores and companies tend to pride themselves in their product and what they deliver and the way that they deliver it. So all of that, driving a Maserati and pulling up to a rundown trailer.
Stop.
But she ain't lying. I've seen some of that. Listen.
They do it.
I've seen some of that.
Parking in the parking lot of the apartment complex. Your car note is more than your rent.
Or that house, they have no furniture in it.
Listen, I've seen some things. That's all I can say, because I don't know who's listening, but I've seen some things.
But see, that's how the other people save money, because you wouldn't even know they have money because they don't wear it. As soon as we get money, we want to drive that big old car, and we want to have on, like the preacher had on, that Gucci suit.
Oh my God.
But they won't do all that. You don't even know they have money. Come
on. So this gentrification is going on in your community right now. They squat on that property, fix it up, then boom, they own it, and they aren't even legal, and that's facts. Listen, at the end of the day, they do what they have to do. They're doing what they have to do, and I'm telling you. So I got you. That's so backwards. I see you. for a long time. Let me see what you're saying here. It has been better to look like you're not poor, even if you don't have two nickels to rub together. Come on here. I'm gonna tell you what, and I have been around some filthy, really, they are wealthy people, and more times than not, they're gonna look plain. Excuse me, they're gonna look plain Jane. Excuse me, and very low key in their attire and not flashy. They may have some items, and then too, you got to know where to wear your flash out. You don't wear your flash everywhere.
Right.
You'll wake up robbed, mugged, and dead.
Gary gonna rob you in the middle of your church service.
Come on. That was we weren't far from the truth on that, because there's so much that has come out on that just was not right. So at the end of the day, y'all remember other groups of folks get a check and benefits to create their American dream. Black folks get Section 8 and food stamps. This is the truth. I understand that, but we also are those Section 8 habitants are spending big money to get those Jordans for their newborn baby.
Whole house be full of Christmas lights.
So we have to be cautious about that, because many, many times it's like, what did you do with the money when you got it? And I'm not saying that as a put down. I'm really, really not. But I am saying we have to look at how and where we spend that money. Dr. Dady Priest is in the house, y'all. She's here, y'all. She's here. If you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, quit your wicked ways, because this lady right here will bless your whole life. She will. I love you. Come on in here. Come on, believe it if you will, Fairly All Day. So this is what I want to say again. I know we're talking Section 8, and I know we're talking people that are struggling. I understand that. But those dollars, even in those impoverished communities, are still some of the biggest dollars out there in the economy. Explain that to me.
And that's true. I mean, people
but when we know better, we do better. So we're teaching them and we're telling them. So we're getting ready to see better things.
I agree. But we got to address. I just want to break down the mindset, because the mindset comes across: I'm impoverished. I'm in a state I can't do better. But you can. That's the mindset. And when those opportunities come out, like Section 8 and whatever else, there's a comfort there. Like, this is all I'm going to do. And Top Pumps, why do we flex? Why do we have to flex? And that needs to speak to a mindset.
It is a mindset.
Why do we feel, even in impoverished states, that we have to flex?
But you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to teach everybody about the intentional. And once you do that, things are going to turn around. They need to know about that intentional.
There's that need to want to be good enough. And I think a lot of the flex comes from wanting to just seem or feel like I'm good enough. As a people, we've been beat down. And now, outside of being beat down, now I'm in poverty. And I need the government to take care of me. So it's that feel of, if I have nice things, people are like me. I want to feel good enough. So I feel part of that comes with a little low self-esteem from a situation that you're in.
Dr. Dady said poverty flexes to deflect. And I agree with that. I agree. But that says to me, we've got more teaching to do. That's a teaching issue. That's a teaching issue. I'm not blaming. It's a teaching issue, which means that we need to step back and teach in a way that is non-threatening and non-humiliating, but we got to tell the truth. And we've got to teach the truth. So this is, again, there's no reason why we cannot build this economy that we're talking about, but it's going to take education. It's going to take talking about it. It's going to take being very intentional. We have got to be intentional. We can't just keep, even as you said, those Black businesses that are out there, we've got to be intentional. Patronize them. Utilize them on a regular, not just every now and again. Their rent is due every month. Their mortgage is due every month. We need you to patronize them every month. And so we'll do like, oh, I patronize Black businesses. Well, when's the last time you did one? Oh, maybe a couple of months ago. Those Black businesses need dollars every month. There needs to be a regular rotation of Black business going in and out of those doors, or those businesses are going to fail. I don't care how good they are. And you patronizing them one time is not patronizing Black businesses. And I'll let y'all talk on that. We out of here.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, we gotta support our own, but we also have accountability to make sure that we're producing what we say we're gonna do. And I think it should be against the law for a business to promote themselves as a Black-owned business when they're actually not. We actually have a barbecue place here that I was told was a Black-owned barbecue place. It's actually not. The chef is Black, but it's owned by white people.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
it's a lot of that.
I've seen it. I was in a similar situation in Virginia. My sister and I went to eat somewhere, and it represented one way, but the ownership was something else. But that food was good. Now the food was delicious, and when she came out the back, I said, "Are you the cook?" She's like, "Yes, ma'am." And I mean, that sister threw down.
Yeah, but look who's getting the money.
Oh, I agree 100%. I do. And it's just dastardly.
If somebody could give her a start to start her own business,
yes,
that would be awesome.
It would be. And I'm an advocate for that. I feel like we need to go out and start identifying some of these individuals that have these gifts and talents and abilities. And hey, if it's not my business, can I help support you and can I help set you up? This, I feel like this is the attraction of changing the mindset and seeing and being a part of building something, even if I help build royalty, if I help build Royal Confessions, if I help build Tyrone, it may not be my business, but if I'm helping to build you, I'm a part of that. Why can't I see to share my dollars and my support to help you accomplish what you want to accomplish? Takes nothing away from me. It takes nothing. As a matter of fact, I feel I'm a part of you and I'm a part of what you're doing. Until we get a community or communal type idea of how to interact with one another and get out of the me, myself, and I and mine mentality, we're going to continue in the Black community. And I got to flex every time I turn around. Stop the flexing. Build the community. Stop flexing. Build your community. So there's a vegan cookie store that you found, Stacy, Black owned. I love it. There's so many things that we have and so many things that we have to offer. Daniel Dean, I'm gonna say that. Y'all go out there. My moderators, if you got his link, drop it in there. This brother is bad, and his leather purses, his leather wear, his clothing design. This baby he sold and was a tailor on the plaza, whatever you want to pronounce it, but the baby is bad from scratch. And I mean, the boy is cold. I don't know that he's so much doing clothes anymore, even though he can. You'll wear a suit or wear a dress that this brother's made, and you'll swear and declare you got it straight off the plaza, because he sews like that and sewed like that for the plaza. He has a collection, the DeAndreCollection.com. Y'all check him out. Businesses. Royal Confessions has a business. Y'all check her out. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Let's begin to move things forward. I want to see Dr. Dady rolling in the dough. I want to see Fairly All Day. I want to see many of you all, BTD Mom. I want to see, listen, Rebel Inc. One reason I want to see us out of the Lion's Den, and those of you that come to visit the Lion's Den, I want to see you all move into your destiny of success. And I want us to be intentional. I want you, come on, bowling clothing, put it on in there. I love it. Out of Texas, get some of these individuals and start patronizing them and start doing it on a regular basis. And do your thing. I said to myself, I will not carry a purse unless it's a purse made by Danny Dean. Y'all ain't ready for me. Anyway, we
Okay.
have got to start picking it up. We got to pick it up. Y'all can get tired of me if you want to, but I'm tired of y'all being poor. I'm tired of having this conversation.
Poor.
At the end of the day, we keep talking and talking and talking. And ain't nobody. Listen, I need y'all to do something. Do something to get off.
Okay. Do something to get off the pot. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna play this last clip, and then you all are gonna tell us goodbye, and we're getting out of here. But I mean this with every ounce and fiber of my being. Y'all can keep on with the, and I'm gonna vote. Y'all can keep on with that if you want to. But I say the future is definitely. There we go.
I find who I gave you all you need. I know what you like. I feel it coming. Johnny doesn't yes. We're here with our black-owned businesses.
This is in Dallas, y'all. This is in Dallas. August the 19th and the 20th. I heard it's phenomenal, and I plan to be there.
I feel it coming. Johnny doesn't yes. We're here with our
That's what I want to see us start doing more of. And I want us to do it in a phenomenal way to change the fabric of our economics so we can stop being on the low side. And with that, I'm going to let y'all wrap it up.
Well, I would say this is a great conversation as always. We know there's a lot of change that needs to happen. But conversations like this, gets it going. It gets some sparks in the brains and we start to figure this thing out. But we're going to make it happen. And we got to support our Black businesses. And like I was always told as a kid, together we can do anything.
Come on.
Hey.
I believe it.
Yes. I would say research. We always talk about research and support Black businesses. Like some of the things I've done now, I reached out to a Black publisher. So she's going to be doing some things that I wanted to do. We always looking at T-shirts and all that. There's so many little companies out there, Black companies that are doing T-shirts. Find them, use them. There's Black people doing everything. Let's research and find Black companies, Black businesses that we can support. It might take a little extra time that, we can't go on the website to Walmart, but we can find somebody else to order the candles from, or to order this from, or our beauty supplies.
Yes.
There's some Black beauty supplies out there. We're so used to going to the Asian people. No, let's do a little research and find somebody that we can support, a Black business that we can support. That's how it's going to get started. That's how we're going to enable them to keep their doors open.
Yes.
So like I said, it might take a little work because we're so used to hopping in the car, going 5 minutes to the white people, going here to Walmart. Let's take a little bit more time, a little extra time, and let's research and search out some Black businesses that we can support. And if you all know some that you all want us to support, let us know.
Yes.
So we can go online and we can order from them.
Yes.
They can come on the show.
Mm-hmm. Let's
Absolutely.
support.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So that's the name of the game for me, y'all. That's where I am. How are we going to change this dynamic? We're going to change our economic base. And once we get established in an economic base, then and only then are we going to be heard at the table. And it's time to do it because our dollars are the dollars. Let's do this and let's make it happen. So at the end of the day, thank you so much for all that you all have shared. You guys have been phenomenal. I appreciate you. I appreciate your conversation. To everybody that's in the Lions Den chat, thank you for speaking and sharing your thoughts with us here openly on tonight. John Studios, thank you for that raid. I appreciate you, my brother. And listen, I was listening to you a little earlier on today. You didn't know I was in there, but I was listening to you, enjoyed what you were doing. And at the end of the day, you're such a blessing for bringing your beautiful, beautiful people over to the Lions Den. And to everybody else that's here, so much love to you. Peace, joy, love, soul, and happiness. And I'm sending that to everybody up in here. Peace for your journey.
Have a blessed
Body kick on.